Wednesday evening, everybody. Welcome to Selma, California, here live on MMA Fight Pass. It's going to be a heck of a show, man. We got a big event going to be happening the end of this month, the 20th of October, I believe, in Reedley, California. But before we get into that and get together with our guests, we big shout out to LFA for their hospitality and what was that, Full House Brewery out there in Fresno for Full Circle. Excuse me. It was a full house, not Full Circle. But anyways, appreciate the hospitality out there, and shout out to Ron Crunk and UFC veteran and Hall of Famer Pat Milicic for joining the show, as well as promoter Ed Soares. Everybody was very, very polite and very responsive out there, man. It made our job pretty cool and pretty easy out there, as well as all the fighters that participated and came on the show, as well as, man, Fresno delivered. How many knockouts, finishes? I think 4 or 5, the first 4 or 5. And then one of the guys we have here, Paul Elizondo, one of our crew, made his pro debut, and actually was a swing bout, the first bout that was on live on TV on Access, and he won by TKO, ground and pound, man. So props out to him. And then the Renegade UFC vet, Cody Gibson from Visalia, California, making his comeback after a little hiatus, winning a unanimous decision in the main event. But that's that, and this is this. We're going to want to welcome promoter from the Valley Fight Series, Paul, don't scratch that out, Jordon Urbano. He's here, and he's going to go ahead and break down a little bit, as well as Richard. He's going to give us the names of the fighters, and then we're going to get right into it. All right, guys.
My name's Jordon Urbano. I'm co-promoter of Valley Fight Series. To the left of me is Richard Deocio, co-promoter as well. Main event fighters are Ruben Castaneda Jr. out of Reedley, California, versus AJ Perez out of Fresno, California, here to the right of me. Should be a really good fight. Really exciting fight. October 20th at the Wake House. Wake House is a premier venue in Reedley. Really awesome place, ran by a great group. Preston Baker has helped us out a lot, get this show going. Big ups to him and his group over there at the Wake House. They're awesome people. Going to be a great show on the 20th. Starts at 5 p.m. There will be a pre-party, live music. We're going to have a lot of sponsors out there doing their thing at 3 o'clock. Genuine Barbershop. They're one of the premier barbershops in the Valley. They won a couple awards at the Barbershop Throwdown in Fresno, so they'll be out there cutting from 3 to 7. Then fights will start at 5, and there will be a fighter after party upstairs at in the restaurant for the fighters. It's going to be for them again. There'll be live music there. In our co-main event, we have to the left Joseph Fernandez out of Reedley, California. He will be fighting Craig Soulsby out of Sweat MMA in San Jose, which is another good group we've been working with. They have an awesome coach, really awesome group. I believe they have 3 coming down to compete on this card. So I can't thank Adam LaChica enough. He's the head coach. He's an awesome guy. So a little bit to Richard.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, it's going to be a great show. One of the things that it's a good way to be back. We reflect on, when we launched this promotion back in 2012. We did a show in 2012, 2013. Took a little bit of a break, and it's kind of we're bringing the band back together again, creating a platform for Valley fighters, and also creating an outlet for folks in the Reedley community and surrounding Central Valley communities to come out and enjoy a good night of entertainment in the form of MMA.
That's pretty cool, because, just hearing from what you guys are planning, a lot of times, promotions, they do their show and that's it. But you guys are actually, it's an event. You guys are making an event, man, and that's neat. I know back in the day, Tachi, it was kind of like that. And I mean, people would, months ahead would buy clothes that they're going to wear the thing. We'd be going to Hooters in Fresno promoting. At that time, they actually had the Central Valley Coyotes football team. We'd be even taking the fighters out there promoting and stuff out there. So, and that's pretty cool because you're doing it in your city. And just from what I've seen, the city's basically supports this big time, which is pretty awesome, man. You know, that's pretty good. When you get a support like that, a lot of times people struggle to try to get things done, but it makes you that one less thing to worry about, you know. And especially this last month, they're coming off the Wake House, and the guys over there are really putting things together. Coming off that big show in Snoop, and I seen a lot of people were thinking, oh no, he ain't gonna, you know, a lot of people thought it was suspect, you know, when they heard about that.
Is it the actual Snoop Dogg?
He actually, yeah, he
Is
actually
it really
came,
him?
did a promo show, did his deal.
No,
showed up,
Preston,
and everybody
Preston
I
doesn't
know,
mess around.
yeah, and everybody I
he's
know
for
that
real.
went, they go, man, this was awesome, you know, and it's pretty, that's good. And then now to come back, that's kind of cool, man. Really need something like that, you know, and something positive, place where people to go and do their deal, man.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, if you're a lifelong Valley resident, I mean, you understand these small towns, you know, that we thrive for, you know, any sort of entertainment on Friday and Saturday nights, and, you know, this is kind of a throwback to that. You know, even if you know, some of us as younger guys, we still understand the generations before us, you know, and at some point it all gravitated toward the fight game. Rather, back in the day, if it was boxing, now it's MMA starting to emerge. You know, those that are hardcore fans, those that just want to see people punch each other in the face, hey, you get together. We want to see it, rather if it's at a local hall or a convention center, or, you know, now what we're starting to do is you know, team up with these entertainment venues, but provide a sports entertainment outlet for residents to experience on any given weekend. So, you know, like you mentioned before, it is an event, and that's what we want to introduce. And we also want to, you know, introduce the fighters and have, you know, Reedley residents really get to know the folks that are participating on our fight cards, rather if they're homegrown or if they're from out of town, from you know, Southern California, Northern California, out of state. You know, we want to create that platform, you know, so, you know, the local residents feel like they can identify with any given fighter that they come out and see.
Yeah, that I think that's an awesome concept, man, because it not just helps you guys, it helps the people that, you know, the small businesses in the area. They see them, you know, stepping up to give whatever they can to help. And then other people that come in town that aren't from that area will say, God, these guys support MMA. We're going to go ahead and support them, you know. And you could see sales increase and a little in their profit margin like that. And I'm a firm believer, like they say, everybody knows 10 people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going, you know, to Sanger, Selma, wherever, you're going to go through Reedley.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so,
isn't that
and it's going to
awesome.
leave its mark. And I know there's going to be a large media presence. I know we're going to be there and go out there and use our, you know, avenues to get that word out. I think that's a big deal, and I support that 110%. I know from years from the football at the junior college, that was their deal, man. A lot of people would come because of the football team.
Yeah.
Now they actually have something outside of that, plus that.
And that's one of the things that Jordon knows really well. I mean, he understands the Fresno City Reedley College rivalries because he lived it, he experienced it, he was part of those teams.
Right.
And and just the same, you know, those athletes that were part of the games, those of us that attended either Reedley College or Fresno City, then beyond just the local Valley residents that wanted to see a good football game played on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday evening, and then after that game, you know, go to a local restaurant and talk about it. I think that's the feel that we're trying to capture and carry on that tradition through MMA. When the fight's over, hopefully the fans can talk about it. Hopefully these athletes that are going to compete will have stories to share, or will want to pursue MMA as a passion. And same thing with the media outlets as well. I mean, this era of collaboration is only going to further the sport, and it's going to help others that are getting into it. It's going to help others go to the next step, rather if that's you're a sponsor, you're a coach, or you're a fighter. And we feel with Valley Fight Series, we want to produce that in addition to just simply being fight promoters.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge, and it's not just that, because I know when a promotion, or even if it's your first time, which you guys have a little bit backing before, but you've had a little time off, and then when you go in there and you have someone else that's doing their thing on a regular deal, things kind of happen. But after this show, you're going to have something fresh in the can, as they say, and basically the rest is going to be history.
Right.
So the next time, and it happens.
block.
It's seen. I've been on that end of it, where people say, "Okay, I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to boast about it. We'll put us to the test." And then you do it. The rest, then you can't wait till the
falls
next
into
time.
place.
Yeah, and then you got people from all over calling coaches and all saying, "Hey, you know what? We want to go." And it's good. That you do have a blend of everybody else, because if someone takes, and this is just my opinion, fighting serious, it's good to check out other venues, not just the same. Just the same thing as when you train with the same guy. It's always good to gauge what level you are from people from other, whether it could be a champion from another organization,
Right.
or your own, or whatever like that. It's good. This way and I think it kind of helps you decide if you can go on to that next level. How do you guys feel about fighting in your backyard? Your family's going to be there. It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I mean, I'm nervous, scared, excited, happy. It's all mixed emotions right now. Especially like you said, it's being like your hometown, like your backyard, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
you get that pressure because you get all the family, friends, coworkers, everybody being there at the same time, and it's that pressure, those eyes are on you the whole time.
You get people hitting you up for free tickets already?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's like, hey, you're gonna hook it up with tickets? I'm like,
So,
bro, I
hey,
didn't even
why
get
don't
to
you
hook up
support
myself.
me, man?
Yeah.
Support
I don't even get to hook
support
up
us.
myself, so talk to Jordon, talk to Richard, but I don't think they're gonna hook you guys up either. So yeah, all the time they're trying to hook you guys, or get the hookup, but the reality is, you want the fans to go out there and support you, because in the way, like you guys said, we're entertainers. We're out there to entertain you guys, and if you guys are not, paying.
And that's the way that helps these promotions come back.
Exactly.
I mean, people, just in the society the way they are, everybody's always quick to judge and complain. But you can't complain if you don't go and support it. How do you know? Make your own opinion by attending and supporting it. That's when it's going to continue to be on a regular type deal, basis. If promotions don't come around, which, we do have one that's current all the time, and that's awesome. It's great, and they do good. But it's always good to have a mixed blend in there too, to spread. There's enough, there's enough for everybody to get a piece of the pie, like that too. So, I like to see that, fresh stuff, and then always there's different. Everybody has different ideas. It's always good to see the concepts and the ideas of other people, and if things were just meant to be one way, it would be boring. So I always like to see the people coming out and mixing it up and competing. It's not that you're kind of competing against another promotion, because they do what they do.
Right.
Jordon going to be doing what he does. The main thing is have a variety to let the fan base come out here and support, especially close to home. Like that too.
Yeah.
So how's your training going?
Pretty tough right now. Juggling work with training is just, I work 8 till whatever we're done with work. and then travel to Visalia to train there, and then go to the gym. After that, you go train somewhere else. So you're pretty much sleeping till 1, 2 in the morning. Wake up, do it
Yeah.
again. But you think about it, it's only for a couple more weeks, and after that you're done. And then if you want to continue, then you have to push yourself and do that same routine over again.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about it too. It's just maybe 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, if that, and you're pretty much done. And then you can relax the whole year if you want to, or look for another card and do it all over again. So
Yeah.
that's just the hard part for myself personally. It's just balancing that work and training. It's just been difficult.
How's your training going out there, bud?
It's going good. Well, like everyone gets some injuries.
Yeah. Hey.
Just wrap yourself up real good. Continue the training. Other than that, it's been going good.
Pretty good. How do you feel about fighting in your backyard?
I feel pretty good. I want it to be that day already. I want to fight already.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I mean, I've been getting more support than I thought I was going to get. So I feel
As it gets closer, it's going to be hard to separate that, because you got to get that, that focus and stuff like that. It's kind of like, I don't know. I remember when I was in school, I played football, and we look forward to these big games, on the weekends. And as it got closer, I mean, it's just like, yeah. But I mean, if you didn't, you'd be lying. Everybody gets those butterflies and those nerves because you're just anticipating. I want to get this done. I want to see how I do, like that. Out there at the end of the table, man, how's everything going with your training?
Good. Progressing. That's all. Is day by day. It's trying to stay healthy each and every day. Progress in some way or some form. Better myself on a daily basis. Whether stamina, whatever it is. Just looking forward. Like you said, there's a bunch of emotions, a bunch of mixed feelings. There's excitement. You're a little nervous. You got a bunch of people coming out to support. I'm at a disadvantage, meaning home. This is their home, so I'm kind of the underdog there, and that excites me a little more, to be honest. I'm a little excited to go out there, and this is my first rodeo, in a sense, to prove my colors, in a sense, to myself and to my people. So it's exciting. That's, for me, is an overwhelming feeling right now. Just anxious and excited, very excited.
I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, through the years, I've been to weigh-ins, and I've seen people weigh in, and then they never come back, like that too. So it's just, I guess, the human nature, and we've also seen people come to the fights, go backstage, and all of a sudden they're not there anymore either. So, I mean, everything happens. Main thing is just stay focused, man, and have fun. You gotta have fun, man. If you're not having fun, then you need to be doing something else. I mean, you're going to be fighting, but yeah, you got to like what you're doing as well, too. Anybody want to talk about any of the sponsors that helped them out, or?
You know what? I just want to say, there's actually another big thing going on in Reedley right now.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a new brand opening, CVRJJ. It's ran by Brian Becker, Mike Moreno, and Robert Herrera. And I think Julio Diaz has his hand in it too. They're doing really, really, really big things right now. They're having a grand opening, and Joseph actually trains at that gym.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Nice.
Mike Moreno's a great coach. Brian's a great coach. Coach Bob's a great coach. They're putting together young programs, women program, men program that aren't fighters, and a fight team. They're doing big things.
Yeah, they're good people, man. We've had them on a couple of times, and probably will in the future as well. They're good supporters of our show, and we support them too. Actually, they have plans going out there and doing some taping and stuff, possibly in time there, and as well as I think, where is it? Fresno, Halo, and Halo Jiu-Jitsu, which is they help out. He helps out them too. So, yeah, all those guys, man, all of them are everybody that's fought out of there. All these young guys are all beasts, man. They come and they don't just sell out tickets. They go out there and it's like, dang, that guy. Where you go to watch them fight, if they're here or somewhere else, just that's the action. And a lot of them, they're just all starting off. So who knows in time, man, God willing, where they end up, man, if they stay on that path.
That's the great thing about the evolution of this sport. You know, if you're experienced it from the beginning, now we're at a transition point where now some of these veteran fighters are now quality teachers and giving back to the sport what they learned from it. And that's martial arts at its core. And to be able to experience that, I'm so happy for these guys to see.
Yeah,
them
it is. I mean,
change.
from when they first started, I started covering them in 2001. Actually, I went before, but actually from media side of it, 2001. It's going to be this month is 17 years, and just like you said, the way that everybody's evolved, it's like night and day, man. These amateurs that come in here, it's like, people, it's like, how many pro fighters? Dude, that's just an amateur dude.
Yeah.
Or girl, whatever,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just the training and the conditioning is just beyond, you know, it's awesome. And then the way a lot of these kids are now, a lot of them have a lot of natural ability, a lot of good coordination.
They're
Where a lot of times people get into martial arts basically because, you know, they got picked on or something like that. While these guys, I'm sure maybe in some time or another they might have got picked on, but a lot of it's basically for training,
Yep.
conditioning, you know, like that too. And it's pretty awesome, especially a lot of the kids that transition from the wrestling base.
Right.
That come in here, they
Yeah.
adapt a lot quicker, you know, like that too. So, and you got guys from the stand-up, like the karate type, because that style is kind of, in the MMA scene, it's kind of hard to fight until you figure it out, which is rare. But by then you probably got knocked out.
Yeah.
knocked out.
Yeah.
But it's good and it's exciting. I haven't been to an amateur show myself for a while. I did at first and then kind of got repetitive. But so I've laid back, but I'm looking forward to your guys' show, man. Since when Jordon contacted me
Definitely gonna
and
be
they
good.
asked, like, right on, dude. Because we even talked, I think, a couple of years ago about doing a thing because I wanted to do something and we contemplated about doing that. And then when you contacted me this last year about it, I was like, oh, wow. It's like, let me know. Whatever I can do to help you out, man. So I'm looking forward to it. Good deal.
We also, there's also going to be a title fight, a 155 title fight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
On this show right
On
here?
this show,
Oh,
October 20th.
dang.
It's going to be Team KO's David Mariscal.
Oh, David, he's a beast, man. He'd probably be turning pro pretty soon.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
Fresno and Fremont, I believe, Bryant Franklin Jr.
Oh, that's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
So that's going to be your co-main event, or because he's your
Yes.
main event, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. We're gonna have a 4-fight main card.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, you'll have some UFC vets in the crowd, man. Yeah, because Mondo Perez, Marion Renault's husband, that's David's cousin. So all those people are going to be, they'll be there, especially when we fight. I know they were at Tachi when he fought over there this last time too. So they all support each other,
Great
man.
ambassadors for the sport.
Yeah, they are.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Privileged to have them here in the valley.
Danny Volkavinos is.
Danny's good people, man.
Helped
God
us
bless
out a
that.
lot,
Those
yeah.
guys. I haven't been over there, man, for a while, but I used to go there all the time.
They go hard there.
And yeah, they do. I mean, these guys, man, for what they have, they use everything they have. And they're, to me, I've always said, you know, they'll do anything for everybody. They never ask for anything, but they're always the first one to extend that. You know, you got people in there, basically it's on their wallet, and they're doing it. And they're basically changed the city and how those kids are.
Right.
You know, they
right.
have an activity to come back, and I think it's pretty neat. Shout out to Danny, he's running for city council, which I think is a big deal because he does a lot of the activities right there. I mean, everything that goes on in Farmersville, man, he's involved in it. I think, you know, you got some people that want to do because of their political goals. Well, he has a voice, and he's going to use that voice for something positive to help the city. So, for once, you know,
Yeah.
you know, he's going for a good cause, and we're going to support him the best and the most
He'll have
because
two
he
fighters
deserves
in
it.
that show.
And that's rare, so that speaks to his character.
Yeah,
So-
he's good. And I mean, in time, I know he had got a lot of fights. I know when I was helping out a promotion, he was basically, and that's what the reputation they got was a ticket selling machine, man. Because everybody, family supports their fighters, you know, like that. It was crazy, man. I remember one time I'd go out there and I'd come to drop off tickets, and then, God, not even a week or so, hey, we need more of these and more. It's like, damn, you know, it's just like,
Oh, yeah, no, they've taken it
you know,
to that
and
already, yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
man, and they would pack the house.
Yeah, and they showed up for the press conference. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
They showed a lot of support. Martin Gomez and David Mariscal both showed up, so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're good people out there, and I wish them the best. But and whoever they bring to the show, that's going to represent KO. Is going to put on a show.
Yeah.
Definitely, they're going to put on a show. So that's good to hear. And that was one we talked a little bit about, you know,
Right.
getting Danny. But I'm glad when I seen that that they're going to be part of that show. That's pretty good. And he's one that has had a lot of his fighters fight for another promotion, but he's always one to try to give all the promotions an opportunity to mix it up. He said it's a better blend for his fighters to get that experience fighting for other people, not just locked into one. You know, and that's good, you know, like that too. So I just wish a lot of other coaches were that same way, you know, but, you know, for whatever reason, I won't mention it, but it happens. Sometimes this consistency out there, and sometimes you pat my back, I'll pat yours. A lot of times you see that. But anyways, that's their decision. But again, I'm looking forward to it, man. The days, we're already on the third day of the month, so the time's going.
Official.
Yeah,
It's rush. It's rush putting this together.
It's going fast.
Like the fighters, they're ready, and
Yeah.
us as organizers and promoters, we're ready as well. Maybe we can use 1 or 2 more days, but we don't get that luxury of adding more days to our calendar. So now we're up against it, but that's the rush and the joy of being involved in what we're doing and in the sport. You know, hopefully we're creating a good platform for Valley fighters and for mixed martial artists in general.
I know, you know, on this concert, they had like a VIP section for parking.
Mhm.
How's the parking set up over there?
Pretty good. They have a huge open lot right across the venue. It's not far at all. It's just right across the street. Real easy to park, real easy to get in.
Good deal. How's the, basically the law enforcement? Are they taking it? Because I know when you do a promotion like this, they kind of require like double of everything or triple of everything.
Well, we're actually in the county, so.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
don't,
Yeah, we've hired a great security team, Crime Stoppers, so we're working with them, and they're gonna keep us safe.
right on. That's good. Want to go ahead, you know what, just go ahead and pay some bills right now. We'll go ahead and do that. Shout out to Spike and Rail here in Selma, California. If you guys are just cruising through Central California on the 99, stop in, grab something nice to eat, mention MMA Fight Pass, and I'll knock off 15% off that bill. Also, Glepler Digital Media, those guys for all your media needs. Let's see, Bellator MMA. A shout out again to LFA for all the support. Who else do we got? Oh, MMA Fight Gear, Eddie and Gary out there in Visalia. And everybody that really supports our show. I mean, we couldn't do it without you guys. And that's it. Welcome back to MMA Fight Pass, live here at Spike and Rail in Selma, California. I'm here with promoter Jordon Urbano and Richard, co-promoter of the Valley Fight Series. Let's talk about pricing as far as the availability of tickets, any special things you got going, seating, whatever like that. Hit them out there. We've had a response. People want to know kind of the prices and stuff.
Right, our general seating's $25. It's first come, first serve. Our cage side reserved, that you'll have a reserved seat, that is $40. And we do have VIP tables available. They're very limited. They're going really fast right now. We're getting calls on them left and right. The VIP tables are $500, which comes out to $62.50 a person. The table seats 8 people. It comes with catered food from the Wake House, and they cook some good food over there. Their catering biz is no joke. It'll also come with 2 VIP parking passes, so you'll be able to park literally right next to the fights. Won't have to walk much. You'll have premier elevated seating. The cage will be a little further down, and you'll have like elevated seating.
Wow.
It'll come with VIP bars, VIP waitresses, and a couple of gift bags for the table. We're trying to provide a lot of value in the tables for our
Wow, that's good. That's a good deal. I mean, I've been to some, and you know, and obviously with that, not for $500. That's cheap. You know, especially when you're getting food and you're close. That's a good deal, man. I'm surprised. Well, probably after this show, you're going to be sold out.
So you're looking at food, drinks, the parking.
Oh yeah,
We
I
have-
forgot to mention. Yeah, you'll get 8 drinks with
Oh.
the table, and any domestic, import, or well drink.
So we're
I
just
mean,
talking-
that's more. You're already covered over your limit
I was
by.
just gonna say, we're just talking about the
Yeah.
tables and the tickets. We haven't even started about the fight yet. So
Right.
you're gonna eat, you're gonna drink, and then when the show, when these guys come out, man, these guys are gonna make the worth of the mission.
Plus, you've been doing a pre-party before,
Right.
so a lot of people are gonna get hammered before. So, but all in fun, man. It's an event. Is it a Saturday?
It is. A
Oh,
Saturday.
it is a Saturday. So
3
that's
p.m. 3 p.m. will be, like I
wow,
said, the
yeah.
pre-party. Fights at 5 and after party at 9 for the fighters.
Dang, that's good. I mean, it's gonna be really an early day. Early. I mean, you start off. I mean, most people on Saturday don't go to church till 5. So, I mean, you go there 3 o'clock, spend your day, and then still be home. You know, early enough to heat up the menuda or wait till the next day.
Yeah, and talk about the night before if you remember
There
it.
you-
Yeah.
there you
But I think
go.
you will. These guys are going to put on a memorable show. You're definitely
Yeah.
going to be talking about that with the bowl and noodle the next day, and probably days to come after that. And that just kind of outlines again the scope of what we're trying to do with other Reedley promotions. So you're looking at mapping out the scope of the last few weeks and having Snoop Dogg in town, and then a few weeks later having fights in town, and then mixed in with an annual tradition that many of us in the Central Valley know and love, and that's the Reedley Fiesta.
Oh, that's
you're
right.
seeing quality family entertainment, or the Snoop Dogg's fan of all ages. But you're seeing an option. For the first time in a long time, you're seeing an option of entertainment in the valley, led by a community like Reedley. That's amazing.
Speaking of Reedley Fiesta, we will actually have a float in the parade, the big Reedley parade, and our main event and co-main event fighters will be on that float.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's pretty cool, man. I mean, that's good. Everything go good, God willing. You already had kind of ideas when you want to do it again. I know the year's coming to the end.
February. We'll be back in February.
Okay, so it begin kicking off the beginning of the next year, which is pretty good, man. At the same venue, or
No, we will be back
kinda-
at the
kinda
Reedley
cold?
Armory.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the concept as well. Is
Yeah.
like you mentioned before, offering variety. So we know now we can bounce back and forth in different venues and develop those relationships in Reedley, and then you kind of see where it goes from there if we choose to expand out of that. But we consider ourselves a Reedley-based business.
I mean, yeah. Why even? I mean, that would be. That's smart if you have a support like you do from your city, and you get a good reception from that. Man, I would just stay right there, man. And as it grows through the years, who knows? What's going to happen.
What was really awesome is, on our press conference, we worked with the Reedley Chamber of Commerce, Eric Valencia. Thank you, Eric. And he him and Richard worked out the logistics of this
press conference, and he was able to put on they were able to put on a great show. So yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man. Who's that girl that was announcing?
So that's Andrea Andrade. She's another local Reedley personality. Also participates in pageants and is has done some on-air work as well. So she's an amazing talent.
Yeah, that's
And
what's
also-
good to have that blend like that. You know,
And a great
sometimes you don't.
advocate.
Yeah, it is. It is. When I seen that, it's like, right on. That's pretty cool. And you could tell she's had that. She had speaking experience
Right.
because she was really clean. I mean, both bilingual. You know, which is pretty neat, especially where you live.
And she's a fight fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, what better than that?
Yeah.
Person's pretty. You know, so it's like, hey, that's a knockout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eric Valencia was actually able to get Tony Cabrera out from
Oh,
Channel
wow.
30. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, I seen him. Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
lose
He
to the
was
frog,
up there.
but we're good.
He's
Yeah.
from Reedley too.
Yeah. Big
He
ups
saw
to
a
Tony,
glimpse
man.
of there. He maybe aspirations of being a promoter himself. He tried to book a match between the Fiesta Frog and Jordan.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Maybe he has promoter written all over him if he.
Who's gonna be your ring announcer? You should have him.
Michael Angel,
Okay.
the Michael Angel. If you don't know who he is, after the show you will.
Right on.
Great voice,
That's kind
great
of
entertainer.
one of the things too. Michael was our ring announcer at our first show, our first and second show. So he's been a big part of what we want to do. We're kind of bringing it's like revisiting an older brand and then reintroducing it and packaging this event as something new. But yet we've been around since 2012, and we want to showcase that with Jordon and the staff that he has, and our personalities that have been involved as well. So we hope the tuxedo still fits on Michael. If not, I'm sure he's got a plan B. But we're bringing it back, and so that everyone that's been affiliated with us, it's the brand that we want to reintroduce. And
Yeah.
so-
Unfortunately, a lot of people, from the last show that happened, unfortunately, it happens because I actually was involved with a show that almost happened, but we kind of stopped it before it got to that part. And it's easy. It can happen at every show, because you get that, give a certain group of fighters these tickets, certain group of fighters this ticket, and all of a sudden they're like blended family.
Right.
And it happened. It's just the adrenaline. I mean, it doesn't have to just be fights. It can be football games,
I was just
baseball
about to say,
games,
yeah.
whatever. It's going to happen. It's just the
Movie
nature.
theaters,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. Dinner,
Yeah.
it happens everywhere, and it's unfortunate. But I think we try to do our due diligence like we did for all our shows, and learning experience. But yeah, that's something that again, we really want to advocate that this is a family friendly event. Again, the basis of our philosophy as promoters is that we're not creating grudge matches. These two guys, they're competitors within themselves, so there's nothing that we need to bring out in them, to either sell tickets or to try to create something that's not there in terms of their animosity toward each other. We asked them if they're willing to fight. They accepted. You're going to see what they're made out of when they get in the cage on October 20th. There's no reason to kind of create an angle that's not there. We'll let their character speak for itself, and we'll let their actions do the talking October 20th.
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, now you see everything, and a lot of times people say, "Oh, it's just a business trying to sell tickets," and then they go in there and board and fight. You see that a lot more now than there or girls are a little bit humble. Basically, it's the respect and their ability plays out, in the fight. So that's good. I like that kind of concept.
I think that's part of the evolution too.
Yeah, it is. Speaking of big fights and a lot of animosity, come Saturday, October 6th in Vegas, we got a big fight there, man, for the 155 UFC bout. Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Russian versus the Ireland. That's the only thing they haven't talked about, those both countries, which I'm glad. But two people, they get some opinions, and we'll start that side over there.
I haven't kept too much on it, but I know already a basis of I've seen where they started, and they started off of animosity and anger, and It's going to be a high-intensity fight. Everybody can see that by the press conferences and stuff. By the looks of it, looking at it, I feel like Conor's in his head already. But at the same time, knowing Khabib is kind of just more on the humbler side, relaxed, or tries to be for the most part. I've been seeing stuff from him too. So I'm hoping Conor doesn't get too much in his head and Khabib goes out there and does what I believe he can do, which is beat Conor. I've rooted for Conor. I didn't like him at first, but he won me over watching him and watching how he works. And it's gonna be a great fight. Khabib's a solid wrestler already, and not beyond solid. It's gonna be interesting because his bread and butter is the groundwork, and that's almost where McGregor lacks, so to speak. He's more of a striker, so it's gonna be unique or it's gonna be interesting to see how Conor matches him and how he's gonna react to him. If he's gonna fight Conor's fight or Conor gonna have to fight Khabib, so it's gonna be interesting. I think Khabib can pull it out though, so I'm rooting for Khabib. That's just me.
George?
I'm going Connor. I'm going Iris.
Yeah.
Going Iris, yeah. He won me over after the Poirier fight and Chad Mendes fight, so I'm definitely staying Connor.
I've always betted against him, and he's always proving me wrong. So until he proves me right, I'm going to go with him in this fight.
Okay.
Well, I got in the MMA world because of my friend Jesse Hinojosa. He's a guy that I was born in the boxing world, and he's all like, "Hey, you want to look at MMA?" And he's all like, "Hey, look at this fighter, Conor McGregor. He's gonna be something big." Conor, who's like some little guy, Irish guy, you know what I mean? All right, cool. So I started watching videos on him, and I started following him, and he just blew up. Everybody's trying to be like I'm a Conor McGregor fan, but no one understands like from the get go, kind of like us right now. Everybody's trying to be, hopefully one day we become big. Everybody's gonna be like, well, I'm an AJ Perez fan, or I'm a Ruben fan, But where were you when we were down, amateur fights, our first fight? And that's why I feel like Conor, I seen him grow from the bottom where he didn't have any tattoos in his chest, and all of a sudden he has all these tattoos and stuff. So I'm rooting Conor all the way. I know he did some mistakes early on as far as acting up and stuff, but regardless, if you erase that, you can't erase the fact that he's a good athlete and a good fighter. So I'm going Conor all the way on this.
Good deal. How about you?
I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a war, and I'm leaning more towards Conor. I just think he's gonna catch him going for a leg. Khabib's gonna go for a leg. He's gonna catch him. He's gonna knee him. He's gonna do something. He's gonna rattle his brain like he never thought. But it's gonna be a war. I'm excited for the co-main event. More, I think.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully that'll build up. We'll get into that one next. I'll give you my opinion on the big fight. Okay, I think Khabib. I'm going with Khabib. And the reason why, everybody, obviously the slugger, Conor McGregor. And it can happen. He has that puncher's chance, and we've seen it time and time again. But if you look at the percentage of how many punches he absorbs, it's about 5%, where Khabib is about 1%. That's how many punches he absorbs. So you look at that, Conor gets hit more than Khabib ever gets hit.
But do you think he's like an elite striker too? And he could catch Conor?
Well, he is. He does have good ability, but I think he look who he trains with, AKA, man. All those guys over there are wrestlers, but they strike. Look at Cormier, what he did to Miocic on this last.
Yeah.
They never thought that would ever happen. They thought he'd ground and pound him, and he ended up knocking him out, cold. So, I mean, it can happen. I think if anybody gets knocked out, I think McGregor will get knocked out. If it comes to that, if not, he'll get a brutal beating, man, because what's his name's wrestling is a whole different.
Oh, yeah.
That Russian wrestling is sambo. It's different, man. Put him against the cage, you don't move.
Wrestling against the Bears.
I'm
Yeah.
not too sure about how much finishes he has, like Khabib.
Yeah.
Does he always make someone tap, or the ref come in?
He has mainly he's like mainly like decisions, but he does have that. Conor obviously is like 80% finishes, so that's why it's high. But hey, the bookie don't lie, the house don't lie. They have Khabib minus 150 favorite.
Yeah.
Connor's the underdog.
I think.
I mean, you got to take the money, you know, obviously because Connor, because it can happen, the puncher. But at the same time, if they get into that third round, which is a crutch for Connor, man, where he gasses
Yeah.
every fight, I don't know. You know,
That's
but
what makes it exciting. There's all these
Yeah.
what if scenarios.
but I don't even think it'd get out of the second round, personally.
Well, that's what I was looking at. You were talking about gassing out. Look at the Connor and Nate fight. Nate choked him out, and Nate's nowhere near
No.
Khabib.
As far as
Jiu-jitsu
strength,
wise,
So-
size, and
but that's
stuff like that.
jiu-jitsu though.
But
Khabib is like wrestling.
that stamina gassing and what takes more out of than being a wrestler. I mean, I'm a little biased, but it takes a lot out of you being on the ground and then trying to fight off the ground and certain stuff. It takes a lot of stamina. And seeing if I'm putting stamina, put both fighters, I could see Habib having a
Yeah.
bigger gas tank, hands down.
I see that too.
Now, granted, a lot of people sleep on his striking abilities too. They don't. I've seen also highlights on him. He can hit too
Yeah.
when he has
can.
to. You know.
And see, if you look at the fights and the guys that Connor knocked out, I mean, they're all strikers,
Mhm.
you know, and that's what they're doing. But at the same time, they're fighting, they're standing right in front of him. They're not using the center line or angles or anything like that.
Exactly.
And Khabib, he's always looking for the takedown. And when he does, sure, he'll win on say, on decision. But the guys he's winning decision, he's beating the shit out of them.
Yep.
They can't do anything on the ground. He's just beating, and he could probably stop him if he wanted to, but he's punching.
Just demoralizing.
Yeah, they're
absolutely.
punching. That's why after the fights, they're like, they're just tore up.
And to some people, that's
like a
more.
pit bull just tearing the dog up and playing with him.
Yeah, that's to some people that's a greater defeat than knocking them out.
It is.
Knocking them out is kind
It
of
is.
easy
because
way out.
if it comes around against you want a rematch, I guarantee you won't.
Yeah.
You know, if it
Yeah.
comes to that. And that's why I'm looking at it that way. Strength, you know, punching, yeah, you got to look at it. And that's what someone, I mean, I've been doing this stuff for a long time, man. I was a boxing coach for over 25 years. And I mean, in striking, yeah, I love it. That's my first love. But when you see somebody that comes in on a wrestling base that's strong, but for another country and the way that they do their wrestling, they could do everything. A blend of not just wrestling, but I mean, just they're there to destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I said, everybody all fights start standing up. So
Yeah.
that could happen.
Oh no, I
But,
think it's gonna be a
I
great
don't
fight.
think it's gonna happen. I think they'll probably fight again, but on this fight, right? I think if not unless it's a brutal win, you know, on either one, Connor probably wouldn't want to fight him, and Khabib would probably say, "Well, I already, you know, whatever." But if it's a close fight, I don't know how it could be a close fight. That's why I can't say
Yeah.
someone's either getting knocked out or someone's going to get the shit kicked
Yeah,
out.
that's what you gotta watch.
Yeah. So that's why my mind, I can't comprehend that being close fight. So that's why it's just something I could see could be beat.
Yeah, that's a unique thing
I could-
about
I could
MMA
picture-
too.
I could picture him
From
saying
boxing and MMA, like the fight that just passed with Triple G and Canelo. See, it's a little
Yeah.
bit hard for MMA and boxing. It's a little bit easier to stand or to see who really won in MMA because you can see who's dominating, who's on top, who's choking who out, who's beating the crap out of who knocked out who. Boxing, it's a little harder. That's why it's hard. I don't like to leave stuff in the hands of the judges in a sense.
Yeah.
With boxing, because I used to box when I was young.
Yeah, regardless, both guys come in to finish fights, and you know they proved it in their record, and I'm sure this is not going to be any different. Now talking about the next fight, Tony Ferguson fight, and Anthony, Perez Showtime. Let's start from this side over here. Coleman.
I'm excited for this fight because, to me, I think Tony would have beat Khabib. I think Perez could beat Conor. So, to me, this is a better fight. And I'm just more excited for that one. I mean, I hope Perez wins. I've been a Perez fan since WEC when I started watching MMA really. So, I seen him do that kick, you know, the Showtime kick.
Oh yeah,
I seen it
Perez.
live. I was out of it, and that got me into it too. like he's like one of my idols, and he's young too. You know. I hope he gets it done. I believe he will, but it's gonna be war. I see elbows, I see kicks, I see a bloody fight.
Think it'd be a fight of the night?
Yeah, I
Possible?
think it will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the main event, I think, is gonna either end soon, or someone's gonna get dominated. So I don't think it will be like fight of the night, because that one's gonna be back and forth. Perez.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited to see it.
Good deal. How about you?
I think Pettis too, just for me personally, the fact that, you know, Ferguson goes out there and acts silly and starts kicking those poles and ends up breaking his leg, and, you know, it kind of messes up the other fighters' fight camp, because you're looking forward to fighting him, and then now you got a different opponent. So you can't be doing something silly like that where, you know, you're looking forward for a fight and, you know, you end up getting hurt. Now, you know, you're training specifically for this person, regardless if you're a fighter. You know, you train your attributes to switch it up to fight against their game. So just because of that, I'm just going for Pettis.
All right.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where Pettis wants to be, and to show the MMA community in the world that he's back. This is the fighter to do it against. If he rises to the occasion, it's going to be his night, but it's a difficult task for Ferguson. I think he's going to come up short.
It's a good one. I like that. I'll support that. How about you, Jordan?
I'm going El Cacuy,
Right on.
straight up. That's what it is.
I'd be lying if I said I know Ferguson. I don't know the other cat. I don't stay too in tune into the sport other than the big names. But from what it sounds like, it's gonna be an interesting fight, and you guys got me excited for it too now. So that's where I'm at. I couldn't say too much other than I'm gonna see the fight.
My pick, for sure it's gonna be a war, but I gotta go with Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, man, he's in his prime right now. Pettis been there, got out. I mean, you know, had some kids, come right back, try to resurrect himself. But Ferguson has been consistent, and every time he's fought, he's showed his improvements in how he fights. I think it's going to be I don't think it'll be too much of I think it's going to be more of a ground game. They both have some wicked submissions, but I think I'd have to go with Al-Kukur in this one, man.
How's he
Right.
get it done?
Huh?
How's he get it done?
I think he probably a Darce choke.
You don't think Pettis is really good off his back?
Oh, he is too. He's quick, but Al-Kukur, man, that guy, I've seen a lot of his fights, man. Went down. I've seen him watch him train. We've had guys from here that went over there and actually trained with him, and got a chance to go and see him firsthand. He's wicked, man. He's wicked. You know, I wouldn't put it this way. There's only one guy I think that can beat him, and then I know in time they'll fight, and that's Brian Ortega. T-City.
T-City.
Yeah. And that guy will be champ. So, but okay, who else? Oh, we got the girls on there. Yeah. Felice Herring and Karate Hottie. I got a fight on that.
Michelle Webster.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and we'll start this way. The girls. Have you had a chance to see these girls fight?
I'll be in the same
Karate
boat, I
Hottie.
think. Yeah.
Just go by nickname. Who hasn't
Yeah.
been a nickname?
The little bulldog.
Watterson. I think she has the skill set. So I think she walks away with probably a decision victory.
It's like they're both at a crossroads. They
Right.
both have to win.
That's how I feel.
You know, because they're both coming off of losses. Herring coming back after kind of resurrect their diet, getting in better shape and training and everything like that, too. And then Watterson, coming off some tough defeats. I think they're both got to prove themselves to stay there. You know, so I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be tough because Herring she's a little beast. Watterson too, but I don't know. I can't even. It's a pick. I can't pick who's going to win that fight. How about you?
I'm like, I'm in the middle too. That's why I didn't say anything. I'm like, I think I'm in the middle.
Waterson, a lot of times because of karate and that. But what's her name's tough. She's
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
If
yeah.
she wins, Herring wins, I think it'll be on the ground. She'll probably submit her if it comes to that. I think she's a little bit more advanced on the ground than Watterson. And as far as stand-up, I think Watterson's a better stand-up fighter. You know, but they're both tough girls. They both can endure a lot. Both fights last time took a lot of punishment, so you know they're tough. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. If I'm not mistaken, I think Paige Van Zant beat her on the ground with I believe it was a rear naked. So if it does happen to be on the ground, I think Watterson might, lose that fight. But standing wise, like I'm going for Watterson overall. So just depends. Like you guys were saying, it's pretty much in the middle. It's gonna be one of those fights that you're gonna have to sit in the middle of the ring and just lean to one side, one's winning, and lean to their side if the other one's winning, and wish them both the best. So yeah, I'm down the middle. But if it does happen to have to go to the ground, then I believe Watterson will lose on that one. And standing up, I think she has the advantage.
How about Ian?
We have Watterson. I think she's gonna use her kicks if she's comfortable in there. Because I think Felicia's gonna be pressuring. She's gonna want to wrestle. I don't think she's gonna want to stand up there.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be wrestling. She's gonna be gaining distance and distance. I think she's gonna use her kicks. But if it does go to the ground, maybe Watterson will lose because just pretty much I see like lay and break.
Yeah.
I see that happening, and she can't get out and stuff. But if she gets her way standing up, I give it to her. I don't think Felice would want to stand with her. But she trains with Holly Holm, so I don't know who Felice trains with, but Holly Holm, she ain't no joke too. So they train together, so I believe she's getting some good sparring in with her and stuff. So I'm pretty sure she's gonna be prepared for this.
Felice has some good stand-up too, but I think her forte is the ground. She trains with Big Frog, Jeff Curran, man. That guy was a beast when he fought, and basically all submission, type fighter. So I know her ground game is really tough, But she's always in shape, always in good conditioning. Actually, they both are. It's just, who could basically control that fight and make it their fight, But it's even. It's a pick. I can't pick who's going to win that fight. But while we're going to be winding down, guys, I want to give everybody an opportunity to shout out, the people that are helping out, the sponsors for the show, and then we'll give the fighters a chance to shout out people that have helped them out, sponsors or whatever like that.
Well, I'd like to thank, we had a lot of sponsors. I'd like to thank, obviously, the Wake House and Preston Baker and his team over there. They've helped us out a lot. The Genuine Barbershop, they were one of our first sponsors, so a shout out to them. Franklin's Master Construction in Reedley, great construction crew, known this guy a long time. Robert Preheim Pools, they do excellent pools in Reedley. We had some support from Dinuba as well, Sal's Tobacco and Quick Serve Gas over there. They've been a real help, a lot of cool guys from out of that area. Obviously, Reedley Chamber of Commerce, they've helped us out a tremendous a bunch, and we appreciate that. Reedley Area Veterans, they've helped us out in the past and continue to help us out. Rescue Maids, Reedley.
On your purchase tickets.
Yeah. And I'd really like to thank our main event and co-main event fighters for everything they've done. I'd like to thank their families. They've all been supported. Whether we ask them to be here for this, to come do a shoot, this, that. They've been more than helpful and way supportive of what we were trying to do. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it, man. I really do. Thank you.
All right, go ahead and start down there, man. People kind of helped you out, sponsors. 'Cause I know it costs a little bit to help with training and, money you're trying to.
This is my family for the most part now. I mean, we kind of kept it in-house more or less. We haven't went out of our realm. I've had a couple guys that have opened their doors, and I just, for this fight, we figure we'll keep it at home for now. And my dad's been my trainer for my whole life when I was young, when I had my boxing. So he's been my trainer in my corner. So like I said, we've kept it at home. I want to shout out my Uncle Rob. He's the foundation. That's what this tattoo actually is family, friends, respect, family, and loyalty. You know, that's just where we planted our roots a while back, and that's where we've been and built together as family. You know, you don't got to be blood to be family, in other words. You know what I mean? So that's just a big shout out to everyone who supported me, friends, family, and everybody who's rallied on this one for me.
Right on. How about you, buddy?
It's been amazing, all the support you've been receiving as you go into the realm of fighting and stuff, especially being a person that works in the city. People are astonished and amazed of what you're doing. So shout out to the Gentleman Barbershop, one of my sponsors too, one of my first sponsors, as a matter of fact. Sponsoring with boxing shoes and whatever I need, they're always there. Semper Fit Meals, helping me with my meal preps and stuff, along with the Rincon Restaurant, prepping those meals, making sure I'm up to weight and make sure I'm healthy. Fresno Mopar Car Club, me, myself driving a Mopar too, is kind of, you have that inner car family, respect for them. DJ Tony, one of the DJs we use for all of our events and stuff, so shout out to DJ Tony. Garage Guys Detailing, Angels Tree Service, Aguila Soccer Club in Wheatley, Valdez Pressure Washing, Wally's Construction Center, Laredo's Tree Planners Incorporated, and Garcia's and Sons Electric Services. All these sponsors reached out to me. A few of them I reached out to myself, but all these came out with welcoming arms, wanting to sponsor me, wanting to pitch in and help, because like you said, it does cost money to go out there and train, buy your equipment, especially if you're head of household, taking care of parents and family. Some of this stuff, some of these costs are a little bit expensive for you to be out there and still perform at the peak level. So without these sponsors, you can't be out there at your tip-top shape. So I really appreciate them. Bruce Tafoya out of Revolution Jiu-Jitsu, my first MMA coach. And now, again, coming back to him and cornering, I had the privilege to work with Ralph Alvarado, Mike Moreno, Julio Diaz, the Stelmatic, the Land Shark, all those, Anthony Jordon, all them, at one period of time, but I decided to come back to my original coach and train with him, along with Garza, with Garza Boxing, that also trains with Marion Renault, Cody Gibson, Brock Diaz, all those fighters that are performing at a high standard. So when you're around, big fighters and people that work hard, it pushes you to work hard too. So shout out to all of them as well.
Good deal. How about you, buddy?
I want to thank anyone who wants to go see me fight. Like, if I have a fan, I'm grateful for it. I mean, after this fight, I hope I do get fans, and it's gonna be a lot of support I have never felt before. So I'm looking forward to it. And I want to thank Brian Baker, because when I started going to the gym, he hit me up and telling me, where you been, like, if you're having money problems, you still come in, so he helped me out a lot. So, I want to thank my girlfriend. She's always been telling me to go back in too, and it just feels good to be back in the gym and actually having a fight. I think Jordon too, he told me about this whole situation, this whole event. He says that he believes in me, so I'm getting a lot of support that way too. Some people, they believe in me, they believe I could do it. I believe in myself. As I was young, I always believed I could do this, but I just never got into it for some reason. So I finally got into it. I love doing it. They've been patient with me and all that, so everything's good. They just want to see me do better. There's no rush to them. So Coach Bob, Coach Mike, Coach Diaz. It's been good support. That's how I feel. So this is my first one. So hopefully, I feel like I'm gonna go out there and do my thing. It'll just be a good fight. Hopefully, he's training good too. He has no injuries. It's a good fight for everyone. I want everyone that's supporting me to have a good fight. They want to see me do my thing. So hopefully that goes right. Just thank my training partners too, because they leave their ego at the door, you know. Like, you don't have to worry about, oh, this guy's gonna try to like
Yeah.
be all ruthless or whatever, you know. So everything's going good. Everything, I feel prepared. Just get some more work in before. So, but there you go. Everyone, thank you.
All right. Awesome.
Hey, I'd like to thank one more person.
Go ahead.
This person actually means a lot to Valley Fight Series. He's been with us since day one. He made our first poster for Valley Fight Series, and that's Frankie Leal with Frankie Leal Photos. He's a great photographer, does a number of people. He's just been with us from the beginning. I didn't forget about you, Frankie. I really appreciate everything. So
I don't know
thank
about
you.
that one, Frankie. I think you did.
No.
Just kidding.
And
Shout
last
out
but
to
not
Frankie
least,
too.
you know, aside all our families and whatnot, I want to thank my partner Rich, because there's always that perfect partner you search for in life as far as business wise. You know what I mean? And I think I found mine. So
Right on.
excellent partner. Can't wait to build this our baby into a walking giant.
Right on. Before we go, okay, the weigh-ins are the same day, obviously, on Saturday. Where are you gonna have the weigh-ins at?
The weigh-ins will be at the wake house as well. After the weigh-ins, we are providing a whole full spread for the fighters and all coaches for them to come eat and you know what I mean. I want the fighters. You know, they're not eating. You know what I mean. For
Yeah,
a
wow.
few weeks, so.
What time is it gonna be?
Yeah, you're invited as well too.
Because we're thinking maybe streaming it.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome, and if you
if-
guys come, we'll get you guys hooked up with some food too. It's gonna be legit, and as I told the restaurant, I want the fighters to feel like, you know what I mean, because they've been deprived of food. I want them to feel like the little kids on Hook when that dang
Yeah.
table of food just appears. That's what we're going for. I want them to be like, oh dang, okay, this is
Your
dope.
stomach's growling right now, I'm sure.
Well, actually, mine is.
Yeah.
No, and that's good. They appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've talked to fighters and asked them, hey, how do you like fight for those guys? He said, man, they take care of us. Sometimes, they'll, talk about, well, we just had a little pad to do whatever, but blah, blah, blah. But little things like that, especially at this level, man, that goes a long way, man. It goes a long way. And I mean, not to say that's going to overpower everything else you guys do for them, but no, that's something they're going to tell everybody, hey, they took care of us and all that. I mean, I've been to big events, and boxing does, but MMA doesn't. I think one time I did a show, I can't remember if it was Bellator or something. Yeah, it was Bellator and got Tachi, and they fed the media over there. They had like a sandwich. They go, there's sandwich in the back. We had to go in there, try to fight it. It was all hidden. But it's a lot, especially if you're putting in work out there. Anybody, I think that's pretty cool, to do that.
Oh yeah.
All right, you guys, we're going to wind it down. Appreciate all you guys for attending, man.
Thank
The
you.
best you guys do work out there, man. God bless you all. Have fun. And Jordon, appreciate you taking the time, man. I know you're winding down everything, and a lot of time chaos goes on.
Oh, yeah.
But looks like you got a good partner to help support you too, so that definitely gives you peace of mind. And that's about us. That's about it. Shout out to the Spike and Rail here in Selma, again, for taking care of us here. And Klepler Media, Eddie, Gary out there, Vice MMA. And that's it for the MMA Fight Pass. It's a wrap.